Now at 5, new information today concerning this weekend's officer-involved shooting in Miami. Plus the surprise discovery of a mural hidden for decades in the walls of Camp Crowder. And
President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping are expected to talk soon amid the president's escalating trade war. I'm Erica Brown at the White House with more on the anticipated phone call and the new tariffs set to take effect this week.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities have released the name of a man shot in an officer-involved shooting in Miami, Oklahoma over the weekend. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation identified the man as 25-year-old Michael Cook. Police say Cook fired into Mia Bella Italian restaurant from outside, trying to force his way in. Officers arrived quickly and confronted the suspect who opened fire and then ran, they say. Gunfire broke out again near a nearby Arby's. Cook was shot, taken into custody, and flown to a Tulsa hospital in critical condition. The OSBI says Cook is still being treated for his injuries. No officers were hurt. One person inside the restaurant had minor injuries from flying glass. Official charges will be determined by the Ottawa County District Attorney's Office. No word on the suspect's motive. Efforts are underway to save a piece of local military history. A long-lost mural has been unearthed in a building that was once part of Camp Crowder during World War II. The Neosho Arts Council believes the mural was designed and painted by an unknown soldier who was training at the site before they were deployed. The organization says portions of the mural remain just a sketch, as the artist was likely called to action before they finished. The mural has now been carefully removed 8 decades later, with hopes to preserve it for years to come.
Everyone can get behind supporting this unique opportunity. We will never find a World War II era mural like this again, connected to our community, and we must preserve it. And we need the community support to do that.
The Neosho Arts Council is asking for community support for the project. Donations would help cover repairs to the mural, paint restoration, and preservation treatment. You can learn how to help on our website, koamnewsnow.com. American Legion Post in Miami, Oklahoma is turning pain into education with a new museum expansion. We reported in September that the members of the post were heartbroken to discover flags they set up for 9/11 had been vandalized. Well, now the members of the Legion hope this museum expansion helps to remind locals of our military history and the respect earned by those who've served.
Work really hard to get to the children. I mean, they need to understand, because most of them right now do not. You can say, like I said, Pearl Harbor, and they have no idea what Pearl Harbor even is. Even bad enough to the point that they do not know what 9/11 was.
We couldn't be more grateful for the investors, I'll say, that put their time and money into this. We appreciate it.
Mays says the expansion will consist of 3 new showcase rooms, including a theater. Says he hopes the project will be complete by late July. A powerful international traveling exhibit has arrived in Fort Scott, Kansas. The exhibit, Anne Frank, A History of Today, at the Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes this month. Through historical photos, powerful stories, and visuals of the actual Anne Frank house, visitors will be immersed in the life of a young girl whose words and resilience have touched millions around the world. The exhibit, opened today, will be on display through June 26th. The museum is open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admission is free and all are welcome. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now for a first look at the weather.
Well, temperatures today got up to the mid to upper 80s. It was a pretty warm, nice day. We do have a chance for a couple of isolated storms to get in here after midnight tonight through tomorrow, but we've got a slight risk for storms in the area tomorrow morning and again tomorrow afternoon. A big flood issue over tomorrow and over the entire week has resulted in a flood watch until Wednesday at noon. Now that's likely going to get extended because we have consistent rainfall chances over the rest of the week. Now you can see we're having a couple of clouds move into the area, but really we're going to watch for a few of these storms to make it in again after midnight tonight. Not going to be as huge of a threat as what we'll see tomorrow night, but we still could get some strong wind gusts. You can see how it bows out, some hail as it pushes into southeastern Kansas. Now that's going to continue. This is about 3 a.m. so all through the mid-morning hours before we have a bit of a break. And our next round of severe weather comes in after 1. I'm going to have those details coming up.
Catch you in a few. President Trump might be looking to avoid escalating trade tensions with China, one of America's biggest trading partners. This comes as the European Union and Canada are promising retaliatory tariffs if the president follows through with a threat made late last week. Erica Brown has more details now from the White House.
President Trump is preparing for high-level trade talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping as the administration pushes new tariffs.
I can confirm that the two leaders will likely talk this week.
Both the U.S. and China have accused one another of violating a preliminary trade agreement reached in May.
I'm confident that when President Trump and Party Chairman Xi have a call, that this will be ironed out.
This comes as the president doubled tariffs on steel and aluminum imports with the new 50% rate set to begin Wednesday. Trade partners, including the European Union and Canada, are promising retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. if Trump moves forward with the tax. The White House says it will not back down.
If we're not strong, then that's when bad things happen. So we have to show strength. We have to have a steel industry that's ready for American defense.
The president's sweeping tariffs are facing legal challenges. Monday, he called on the courts to uphold his authority to impose them, saying not having it would lead to the economic ruination of the United States of America. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Several states have sued the administration, saying the president misused a 1977 law that he applied to justify the new global tariffs. Court hearings are expected on the subject soon. Still ahead, a new vaccine recommendation is sparking some debate. We're going to look at some of those concerns, and a new study examines the value of routine mammograms. Those stories next in Health. Topping today's Health Watch, the Mercy Foundation's Stick It to Cancer fundraising banquet brought in a record amount of donations Saturday night, close to $97,000 to benefit Joplin's Mercy Cancer Center. I was honored to MC the event for the third consecutive year, this time at Downstream Casino. The overall goal of the year-long campaign is $750,000, and after this weekend's fundraiser, they've collected $700,000 so far. The money will be used to purchase equipment to battle lung cancer. The Stick It to Cancer event included an auction, recognition of cancer patients and healthcare workers, food donated and prepared by a number of area restaurants, and entertainment. Our congratulations and thanks to everyone who made the event such a big success again. More than 160 golfers were on the green today in Joplin. The Children's Miracle Network held its annual Tournament of Miracle Golf Scramble. Money raised goes to help the CMN help local kids in need.
We're here today. Everybody that's here today is raising money so that we can fund the programs to help kids. We're all blessed with kids around here, but sometimes those kids need that extra special attention or help that CMN provides, and that's what we're about here today, is raising that money for that.
The Children's Miracle Network says they've surpassed their goal for the year, which was $100,000. The CDC now says kids 6 months and older with no underlying health conditions may receive COVID-19 vaccines in consultation with their doctor. The updated recommendation contradicts Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Last week, he said COVID-19 vaccines are no longer recommended for healthy children and pregnant women. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder discussed the development on CBS Mornings.
Translation for shared decision making, that means talk to your doctor. Now, not everybody has a doctor, by the way. 1 in 3 people in this country do not have a doctor. So that's one challenge. In terms of the kids, we know that kids under the age of 2 are those highest risk after the elderly for ending up in the ER or the hospital. And okay, most of them are not going to die, but as a parent, I don't think you want your kid to end up in the ER or the hospital.
Vaccines for pregnant women are still not recommended by the CDC and are now listed as no guidance, not applicable on the agency's website. The American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology still recommends pregnant women get vaccinated for their own health and for the protection of their baby. The Trump administration's efforts to remove fluoride from drinking water will likely have serious harmful effects on oral health in children, according to a recent study in JAMA. Researchers project a 7.5% increase in tooth decay and an added $9.8 billion in healthcare costs. Doctors say fluoride has significant health benefits and is safe to consume in the levels currently used in drinking water. Early detection and improved cancer treatments are leading to more Americans surviving and living with cancer. A report by the American Cancer Society found 18.6 million Americans are currently living with cancer. The number is projected to reach 22 million by 2035. While the report shows cancer patients are living longer, the data also shows large racial disparities for cancer survival still exist. Routine mammograms save lives. The Radiological Society of North America looked at women who got mammograms only after cancer symptoms were detected, compared with women who got regular screenings without symptoms. Those who got the routine scans had lower odds of advanced stage breast cancer, lower rates of needing a mastectomy, and lower rates of death. It's another reminder that early detection is everything. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, an effort to help women break into male-dominated professions.
And we have thunderstorm chances kicking off as we head into Tuesday. I'll have those details right after this. Well, we are having a great day today, but storms are rolling in before you know it. Now, taking a look outside, you can see we don't have anything going on in our area. Temperature is getting up to the mid 80s, so we're starting to do our little downward trend as we head into this evening. A few clouds are going to continue to push in, but we're watching as this line of storms makes it into the area after midnight tonight. Clouds will really start to ramp up in about 10 p.m. and then midnight to early morning, we're going to get our first round of isolated thunderstorms that are going to be moving in mainly north of I-44, but we have a second round of strong to severe storms that are going to be moving in early afternoon to early evening. After that, we go into a bit of a lull before our next round of storms comes in on Thursday. Now you can see downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We've got some winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour through the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. There you can see clear skies, but those clouds are going to start to move in just a couple of hours. Now, scattered thunderstorms by midnight and temperatures are only dropping down to the upper 60s. So overall, mild night. We do have a slight risk, though, for these storms in the morning and in the evening. Slight risk as the line of storms really ramps up right when it moves into our area. And our main timing, although we could get some severe storms in the morning, our main timing is going to be 2 p.m. until about midnight as we head into tomorrow. Flooding is going to be a huge risk, especially north of I-44 in southeastern Kansas. Could see the most amount of rainfall on Tuesday night storms. But we also could expect some straight line winds as this line of storms pushes in. We have that same threat in the morning as well. So this is about 10:30. Got those clouds pushing in, line of storms right moving into the Wichita area. By about 11:30 to midnight, that's when it's going to start to creep into our area. You can see it starts to fall apart. Not a huge threat here. Again, could get a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly due to a wind threat. You can see how it bows out right there. It'll continue to push into the area. We're going to get some scattered thunderstorms as it makes it into southeastern Kansas, right across the border into Missouri. But some of these storms, isolated storms, could have a severe threat to it. Now, those will continue to push out of the area by about 8 to 9 a.m. We have a lull, and if clouds break, we could see that severe threat ramp back up as we head into the afternoon. Now, by about 2 p.m., isolated storms start to push in, but quickly form into a linear segment, which is going to be mainly a line of storms caused by that straight line wind threat. You can see some areas that are going to bow out. Those will continue to push into the area. This is now 6:30, making into the Joplin metro, passing Joplin by about 8:39, and then clearing out by about 11 to midnight tomorrow night. Now, like I said, main threat for the northern part of our area, could see some flash flooding, especially through the morning hours, but we've got more rain coming through all the way until Sunday. Could see up to 7 inches of rain in certain areas. We do have a possible alert day due to the storms tomorrow. Again, mostly cloudy on Wednesday, a couple of showers popping up, but storms continue Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
All right, we'll be keeping an eye on it.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Coming up, the Fed chair speaks out in Washington just days after meeting with the president. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell delivered remarks at a conference in Washington just days after a trip to the White House. Powell addressed the Fed's International Finance Division at its 75th anniversary conference. He spoke about the group's critical input into the Fed's monetary policy decisions.
The division has devised new methods to measure and assess the effects of various types of uncertainty on economic activity. As we continue to navigate the current period of heightened uncertainty, this work is critical to understanding the quantitative implications of uncertainty shocks, certainly relevant today.
During a meeting last week, President Trump told Chairman Powell that the Fed's refusal to cut interest rates was a mistake, damaging the economy. Chairman Powell stressed the central banks would make decisions about interest rates based solely on careful, objective, and non-political analysis. Jobs like mechanics, electricians, and welders have long been dominated by men. But now there are several industries and programs across the country trying to bring more women into the fold. Jeff Wagner shows us one college offering women help to learn a trade.
Working with her hands feels natural for Rachel Fulgham. The former baker loves to create from scratch, but a few years ago, she traded in flour and ovens for steel and mills. She's learning to be a CNC machinist. They program machines to cut, shape, and design parts to exact specifications.
My fiance is a machinist. For years, just hearing him talk about his day, I thought, I could do that.
She's now doing it, but this semester she's the only woman in her class.
It would have been nice to have other women in there and made me feel less alone.
According to the Labor Department, only about 4% of machinists are women. To spark some change, there's a new pilot program at the college looking to recruit women for a number of male-dominated trades. The program helps pay for tuition, transportation, even childcare.
If your primary concern is cost or affordability or going into debt to finance your education, this program will literally remove that obstacle.
Adriana Afalter used to be a student at Minneapolis College. Now she's a full-time CNC machinist at Johns Tech.
I love what I do for a living. There is no excuses. If you want to do it, go for it.
Already following Afalter's path is Fulgham.
I'm really looking forward to just being part of the CNC industry and doing it full-time for hopefully the rest of my life.
Her internship at Johns Tech will turn into a job and, more importantly, a career. Jeff Wagner, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, Californians are still waiting for insurance payments for fire damage. Wait until you hear what the insurance company sent instead. Then on KOAM News at 6, the surprise mural discovered in the walls of Camp Crowder isn't the first found there. We're going to look at the history of soldier-created murals at the site. Plus, we'll have more details of the expansion of a Veterans Museum in Miami, Oklahoma, and what it could help to teach a new generation. And Joplin High School announces its brand new baseball coach. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and KOAM News at 6. The weather nice at the moment, but we have some storms moving in this week.
Yes, we do. We did start off the day pretty well, 80s, but as we head into this evening, we're going to start to see some thunderstorm chances ramping up. We've got a couple of rounds tomorrow. First round after midnight tonight until about 5, 6 in the morning. And then our second round, that is where we're having our largest threat for severe weather, starting 2 p.m. until about midnight tomorrow.
All right. I know you and the rest of the weather team will keep us posted. Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.